Welcome to another episode of the Canon on the Boomer Bust channel. I'm your host Terry, and today we are talking about the movie theater industry. Again, I'm on break. I have free time finally. Got to talk about a lot of things that aren't football related, but this is one that is near and dear to our heart. A lot of dynamics going on, but I just kind of want to talk about my feelings about the future of it. I would guess if you're listening, you're a movie theater fan or something, maybe not, but just a quick recap. There's a global pandemic going on, despite what some people like to argue, even though it's been almost a year, it's a global pandemic. And so that has had some big effects. I won't say irreversible and long lasting. Now that's kind of a preview to my thoughts, but I won't put it that big. I will say that it's been a huge impact as of now, and that we will see what happens in the long term. But as of now, the ability to be together in a confined space has been taken away, and that's had major repercussions. Obviously, many businesses have been affected, but none, I would say in the top three is movie theaters, because that's all it is. It's sitting there in a confined space. And so with that, we've seen a lot of theaters, not even theaters, we've seen a lot of studios hold their movies because they want to get to a point where enough people will go to the movies that they'll make their money. And these things cost a lot of money. They make a lot of money, or they can make a lot of money, but they cost a lot of money. And studios, they make it a business, a LLC. They take out loans. They got financiers, and they got interest. And so the longer they wait, they do have to pay on those loans, but they want to get the most return on their investment. And so because of that, even when you have theaters open, like I was looking, the local ones around me are closed, but I was getting ready to go up to Chicago, and a couple ones I've seen are open. I don't know what those movies are. So even the ones that can be open, there's no good movies to show. Like, it'd be nice if I was going up to Chicago and they say, hey, Wonder Woman 1984. Yeah, people would probably go see that, but that's going to HBO Max. We'll get to that. And so there's no real new movie. So there's no attraction to come to the theater. And so with that, a lot of theaters have been hurting. I think none more so than AMC, which was the king. And they were hurting because they were the king, and they were the king because they were making the smart moves. They were investing in redoing most of their locations. They were investing in their movie membership, AMC A-list. I was thinking the Stubbs thing, but nope, A-list. And they had to put a lot of money up front, because with that, you pay how much you paid a month, and you got to see all these movies. I forgot what it was. It's been a while, because I ended up leaving it once I left Chicago, because there's no real AMCs out here. So I think it was like 12 movies a month, though. And you could see it in any format. So it was a great deal. And what they were doing, what they saw, is that people were coming back to the movie theater because the movie was affordable. And then they started to, obviously buy the snacks and stuff. So they were doing well. But because they had this massive debt and they were making money, and then they stopped making money, they're now almost broke because the pandemic has been going on for such a long time. And so a lot of theater companies at a point where they're hurting. And a lot of people have speculated that the movie theaters are dead, because you have a lot of streaming. You already have the streaming platform wars going on. Netflix was the thing. Hulu was sitting there. That was cool. But then Disney Plus dropped. HBO Max dropped. Peacock dropped. Everything's dropping. Everybody's got something. And so the streaming wars started. And when we were locked in for isolation, we were all streaming. We were streaming before, but we were all streaming. And then the stuff happened. Disney put Mulan straight to Disney Plus. instead of going into the theaters because they couldn't wait that long. They had to sacrifice somebody to see how it went. And it didn't go that well. And so with that happening, that was the first stone to be cast. And everybody was like, okay, well, you got to cut the middleman, or you don't have to, but they're like, okay, we're going to cut the middleman out. We are going to effectively take the movie theater out, bring the movie to the consumer and get the money. And we don't have to split it. We don't have to share it, whatever. That's what a lot of fans thought. But the fact is that's not profitable. That's not exactly how it goes. And I forgot to get the number exactly, but let's just say, because I know it didn't perform well, but let's just say this. It was $30 for a premium viewing. Now, what they did, and this is a premium viewing. There's some that's going to be like Wonder Woman 84 with HBO Max and all that, where it's not premium view. It's just part of the app. So there's no new money coming in unless you get a new subscriber. But with a premium view, even if you are a subscriber, you had to pay to see Mulan. And so they charge you $30. And I forgot, let me see. Disney Plus reported recently what their subscriber base was. And what they came to find out is that they are they're pretty not close, but they're not too far off of being a decent percentage of what Netflix is. So it says that they're reporting that they have 86 million just on Disney Plus. Just on Disney Plus. So out of 86 million, you got 86 million people. And let's just say you took a percentage of that. So 86 milli. Let's say we took, let's just say half. We'll just say half. So 430 or 43 million people. And they each paid $30. So that would get you about 1.2, almost $1.3 billion, which would be a massively successful movie. But that's if half of your current subscribers already paid for it, or your current subscribers who are already paying, that's if they paid another $30. Now, let's just do something a little more realistic. Let's say that 5% of your viewers that are already subscribed, let's just say that they paid $30. You would make $129,000. That would be a massive, massive bomb in the movie theater. A gigantic bomb in the movie theater. And so, and these are just your current subscribers. Let's say that none of the current subscribers want to do that, and you just got 5,000 new subscribers, which is a lot. 5,000 new subscribers, or let's just say 15,000. 15,000 new subscribers who said, I'm going to come in, get Disney Plus, and buy Mulan. That's $450,000, which is an okay movie. Now, obviously, you don't have the fees of or the licensing and everything that goes with the theaters and all that, but still, you would take that money in, but that would be an okay opening. Now, that's a huge feat to ask them to get 15,000 new subscribers just to come watch one movie, and not even to get the service, but also to pay an extra $30 to then, show that. Like that would be tough. So, looking at this just real quick, it looks like they're saying Mulan is at an estimated 70 mil. And actually that might be worldwide, but they budgeted for around $200 million. So at $200 million for the budget, and how much you would make, like again, with 15,000 subscribers, would be 430,000. You wouldn't get anywhere near close of what it costs to pay for that for that movie, excuse me. And so you would have to have a massive group of people to come in, either new or current, and buy that for you to even get close to paying for Mulan. Now, think about it as far as HBO Max or a Soul, which is coming straight to Disney Plus, whatever, where you're not getting any extra money. The money you have from your subscribers is what you got. And then if you get a new subscriber, you'll get that monthly. And that's not all at once. That's not $30 right now. I mean, they could pay for the year, but more than likely, you'll get, what is it, $5.99? You'll get $6 or $7 right away. And so if you go $7 times this many people, that's even less money. So the point is, going straight to streaming will never be as profitable as it is as being in the theater, where you can charge a premium ticket because you're giving them a premium experience. Like, yes, the content matters. Obviously, the content is huge, but the content isn't standalone. You're not just paying for the content. The delivery system matters. So all these people are saying that theaters are dead, that it's all about streaming. There's no reason to ever go to the theaters again. I don't believe it. And even the people that I really trust and watch and listen to, they went back and forth, which to me shows that I never agreed with their premise of the movie theaters dead. But like HBO Max said, hey, all our 2021 movies are going straight to streaming. And everybody's like, well, they just killed the theaters. And then Disney Plus came out and basically said their movies are going to theaters. The theaters are saved. I don't believe that. Because here's my thing. I think personally that if the theaters drown right now, which is very possible, they're very close to it, but if they drown right now and we get to a point in April, May, or not really April, May, if we get to a point around October where the virus has been pretty much contained, where either the ones that have been vaccinated aren't spreading it, or really me, honestly, I'm not worried about a vaccine. I'm more worried about getting a drug to suppress symptoms. But either way, if we get to a point in October where it's in check, our numbers are much better and all that, and we're starting to open up, you mean to tell me because the theaters died in, what is it? It's January, basically almost January. Because the theaters died in March, that 5 months later, whatever, we can't revive it? Like, they might die, but they're not dead forever. Like, everybody's like, well, the thought of a movie theater is just over with. And it's like, why? If I know as a business that my best venue to make money, like, and not even close, we just did a little bit of the numbers, but it's not even close. If I know my best venue to make way more money than I'm making right now is still there, it might not be operational, but it's there, why would I not do everything I can to help? Now, I don't think studios are going to massively buy theaters. I don't think that's what's going to happen. But as an industry, I have to believe the studios and even the some people that aren't studios, like Amazon that do streaming and all that, they're going to be invested in making sure that theaters come back, because people are talking as if watching movies in a theater is antiquated, like it's old, like it's out of fashion, like it's, because people keep comparing it to CDs and vinyl. And I'm like, wait a minute. How? Because the quality is way better. Like, yes, you stopped really listening to vinyl because you had cassette tapes. They're more mobile. as good as quality. Then you start listening to CDs. Then you start streaming it, like, because it got better. Streaming at home is not better than the movie theater. It might be more convenient, but it is not better in quality of sound and of picture. And then we could get into the whole social atmosphere and aspect of it that can't really be measured. But there's that part too. So the theater is better. It is hands down better. So the only reason we're not in theaters is not because, we love streaming so much, we hate going to theaters. Now, theater numbers were down a year ago, but the past year been going up with AMC doing things and other people doing things to get people back to the movies. And that's really because there's a lot of content to compete with TV and stuff. But the movies, the experience was coming back. The only reason it's down is because of the pandemic. It's not down just because it was on its way down. It's down because of the pandemic. They're not making money because they always make small gains. The movie theater, which is why the studios probably won't buy the theater, because movie theater game is very thin margins. They barely, get over break even each year. That's just the way it's set up. But the only reason they're closed right now is because of the pandemic. And so if the pandemic is over, why wouldn't we be able to open the theaters? This is why I don't get when people say like 100% death knell, it's dead. Theaters are dead. Theaters aren't coming back. I'm like, how? How? Even if everybody is putting their stuff on streaming, you mean to tell me I got Spider-Man 3 coming up or whatever, and I'm sitting there like, you know what? Instead of putting this on Disney Plus, I could, obviously the global markets are still open. Not everybody, but a lot of global markets still open because they knew how to take care of the pandemic. So I wouldn't say, hey, even in LA or big cities, I couldn't work with some people, even if it's a pop-up theater, which would be kind of hard because that equipment is expensive. But I wouldn't work with some people a year in advance to get a theater in Chicago, New York, LA, Atlanta, Dallas. Just get those up and then play the movie there. And now it's a big event because it's only one place you could go see it in that town. And so I could at least supplement some money. Why wouldn't I do that? Why wouldn't I do that? I mean, because the stuff is there. It ain't like it's just going to disappear. Those IMAX screens and all that stuff is there. And so why wouldn't I want to invest into that? Why wouldn't I want to go into August or September and say, hey, you know what? Things are starting to turn around. Let me put some money into a couple theaters so then when my movie drops, I could put it somewhere. And then guess what happens? When you make money, everybody else is going to start doing it. And then we got our theaters rolling again. So I just don't see this idea that the movie theater industry is dead because you don't make anywhere near close to the amount of money on streaming. And so that means a number of things. That means A, you won't be able to make movies like you used to, as big as they are. And actors won't get paid like they used to. They won't be in as many movies as they were. And so it's just going to really hurt the ecosystem. So I think if the movie theaters were to die, we would just have a watered down version. Like Mulan ain't 200 mil. And honestly, I don't know what it is. Because if you were to say Avengers Endgame, say that didn't come out in theaters, that came out on Disney Plus, and you had to pay $50 to watch it, it would not have made the amount of money it did, but it would have made a lot more money than Mulan did. You could justify that, but you can't justify most movies costing that much if you're only going to make this small percentage of money on streaming. And then, cause Netflix spends money and they do original stuff, but they spend a lot of money on a lot of things. You can't spend a lot of money on a couple things. And so, the idea is to have a range of content that keeps people coming back. And the fact is that if you look across any streaming platform, the highest streamed stuff is curated content. Old shows, The Office. I'm watching Community right now. Those different things. The Friends. That's the stuff people really watch the most. But either way, you try to add new content so that people stay subscribed. And if you go down this route of just adding stuff and not having a premium price, A, you're going to make less money, and B, you're going to have the wave riders or whatever they call them, where they sign up for a week or a month, watch it, then they sign out and wait for the next thing to come out that they want to see. And so it's not a good business model. It's really not. And the industry now, a lot of people are raging against Warner Brothers for what they did with HBO Max for different reasons. That was more about money, but still at the end of the day, they're not happy it's not going to theater. Disney obviously was smart and didn't say such things. They said, we believe what these movies are going to be in theater. So I don't think at all. I think from what I've listened to and heard, the HBO Max thing with Warner Brothers, I believe them when they said it was a 1-year strategy. But also, from what I've heard, that was more of somebody trying to throw everybody else under the bus to make themselves look good. And I don't put it past anybody doing that. So I don't think that's the wave of the future. I think that's the wave of the right now. And in my personal opinion, theaters will continue to go. We might not have the proliferation. There's going to be some places that can't come back. But I do think the big companies are going to pick back up and they're going to acquire more places. Which is going to be a lot more safer about things and everything. But I think the movie theater experience lives on. So anyway, that's it for me. Go down comment section. Let me know what you think. Share it around. Get the conversation started. Thumbs up. Subscribe. And remember, if you heard it here, it's official canon.